Hey dolls, it's me, Wilma Fingerdew, and we are live on this Saturday, June 21st. Happy day after Juneteenth Day. Happy Pride Month if you're celebrating. I've been very sensitive because I know a few people who don't celebrate Pride in June. And it's funny because they get right stroppy. Like, Happy Pride Month is like, well, not here. It's like, well, I didn't tell you to go screw your cat. I told you Happy Pride. Pardon me if I'm a month early. Calm the frig down. Clearly, I'm in a mood. but I've been trying to be very sensitive to that. But it's Pride here in Toronto. My building where I moved to, they're having a Pride celebration later today. Today, I don't know. I'm probably not going to go because I've been to them. This is the thing. I've been to Prides. I've seen it. I'm proud. I've moved on. So I don't worry about, like, when people say, "Oh, what did you do for Pride?" It's like I sat and stared. I had the best Pride ever, you know. But today, in honor of Pride, I thought I would have a live, and because I can, we're going to be using my Wilma Fingerdew palette from Beauty Moon Cosmetics. But that set me into thinking, well, I have all of these Beauty Moon Cosmetic palettes. It's ridiculous how many I have. I have all of them. This is one of my favorite in the bleak midwinter. This is the first one. This is the one that got me started wanting to buy from Beauty Moon, was the Criminal palette that her daughter helped her curate. It's such a great company, and I have these little palettes. This is one of the first palettes I got, was the Christmas palette, and it's so old that she used glitter then. Now it's all pigments and shimmers. And then this one's one of my favorites. 6 Feet Under was a little 9-pan that she did. A very dark, it's very unlike Tori to do a dark palette. All of her palettes are very bright. So I'm going to be using a bunch of palettes. I've already used the Mantra palette. I can't remember which one this is. It's the orange one. I like this one for my eyebrows, but I used a couple of the tones on here for my eyebrows. I also used a couple of tones from the Fingerdew palette. I used Sweet Marie and Seriously. I love this black because it blends in. I got dirt on it. It blends into other colors really well. So I'm wearing a blonde wig later. It's a wig that was made for me by a fabulous drag queen who was on Camp Wanakiki, Pola Vortex Frost. So we're going to be throwing that on her head. So I did blonde eyebrows. I've never done a blonde eyebrow. I mean, it's not blonde, but it's not orange. It's not like the brows I usually do. And I'm here with Candice Gregora. She is manning the board. So if you get any stroppy answers to things, that's her. I'm not saying nothing to nobody. But
Coffee and Fluff Cosmetics say, "Hey, beautiful." We've got Carrie, Toby's here saying hello. Andrew, Martha Grenwald.
Oh, Martha, Steph, that's Poppy and Fluff.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. You know, Steph, I was hoping, I knew it wouldn't because of the time it would take, but Poppy and Fluff have sent me a little care package. It started months and months and months ago when Steph was decluttering her palettes, and she was getting rid of her Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, the Alyssa Edwards palette that Alyssa did. And I loved mine, and it's almost completely panned out. And I just sent her a quiet little note that said, if you're getting rid of that, you can send it to me. And so it started with that. And in the interim of that, she started her brand, Poppy and Fluff. And she said, "Oh, I'm going to send you a blush palette." And then she said, "Oh, I'm going to send you the..." And so finally, it's all been on its way. And I was kind of fingerdews crossed that it would arrive today, or in time to use it today, and it didn't. So that's I'm sorry. I wanted to use it so bad. But one of the Beauty Moon Cosmetics palettes I'm going to use is the Gospel palette. She did this with Piglet TGC from Instagram. I don't think there are any more of this on the website. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'll check.
Candice is going to have a look. But this is great. Like, this was right up my alley because there are the Golden Girls is a color. And it's very golden.
What's the palette name again?
Gospel.
Gospel.
Yeah, the Gospel.
Happy.
There's the Dinner Ladies, which is a British reference. Will and Grace is here. Kath and Kim. Up the Woman, that sounds vivid. Upstart Crow, Nighty Night, Dibley, Vicar Dibley. Blackadder, which is the white one.
Nice.
The Simpsons, which is that neon yellow. So I'm actually going to start with this. I'm using these two colors right here. Let Them Eat Cake, which is this gorgeous purple.
It is stunning.
And
it is
then-
out of stock.
It is out of stock.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm teasing you. But I'll tell you, Tori has a color story preference, and you can get various different tones of pinks and corals and purples in all the other palettes. So I think you could recreate what I'm going to do with almost any of them. Like I've got more than a couple, and I'm noticing, oh, that's not the same coral, but there's another one. But I'm going to use this coral, which is called Up the Woman, sounds so vivid, and Let Them Eat Cake. So we're going to start with those two. Lately, I've been doing my eyeshadow. I was off on a Jewel Sparkles tangent with the double cut crease, and then somebody showed me a picture of Chanel, and she's got those milk green eyes, like they're so light and they're so bright, so she can get quite dark around her eye and it still pops. And I'm often afraid of doing that because I think it makes my eye look muddy, but I kind of found a way around it. So the last couple of times I've done makeup, like the review that's out now with the green and then the one before that with the blue, that's what that is. But I'm just going to start with this. Look at this purple. Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pigment.
Yeah. This is the thing with Tori's brand, is that I really do enjoy how pigmented it is, but it also, like you can see, I'm already blending this out. I'm going to blend it out a bit more. And
I love that color.
yeah, isn't that great? This is so not a me color normally. I always like to use colors in the palette that I don't use, because like 9 times out of 10, I'll have 4 or 5 shades in a pan that I just never touch. And sometimes it's the pinky corally colors, because I don't want to look like I have conjunctivitis.
Huh.
But one of the best palettes that Tori did was the Hope and Bloom palette.
Oh, that one I think is still available.
This is such a beautiful, it was in honor of cancer. It was to raise money for cancer research. It was in one of the ice cream boxes. And this color story, it's one of the best pink palettes, because there's no real black, but the brown that's in there is really good for blending any of the colors. And all the shimmers have a tone of pink or silver in them. It's just such a great little palette. I would highly recommend, if you're on the website.
On sale right now.
On sale, how much?
24 pounds down from 27.
Yeah. So that's $8 American and 48 Canadian, but it's good prices. I always joke about how cheap everything is because of the American dollar, but I don't think that's going to be for long.
Not for long.
Yeah. But yeah, I really do like that. I'm probably going to use some of the shimmers in there. So what I'm doing is I'm just building up this color. Just letting the whatever's on the brush help me draw it out without blending. I don't want to thin out the color. And then I'm going to take the same brush and go into Up the Woman. I want to know what show that's in reference to. But I'm just going to start it right there. Oh, I think I made a boo-boo and got some purple on with this. Let me do this on the other side, and then I'll do it again. Either way, I know I can fade it out as well. But yeah, I don't have anything. Do you have anything planned for Pride this year, Candace?
Well, I mean, there's this live. There's this live. A friend of mine has a birthday tonight, so
Oh, nice.
We're gonna go to a little birthday drink some bar. But actual Pride weekend, I'm getting out of the city.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So
I don't blame you.
we had a last second opportunity to go to a cottage.
Oh,
So took it.
good job.
I tend to do a 1 year on, 1 year off with Pride.
Yeah. I used to do Pride because I was on the radio on Proud FM, and we used to be in the parade, which was a treat. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a treat, but just at around the time the Black Lives Matter protest happened, and people started getting angry about things, I started to notice that being in the parade down Yonge Street, there's all these buildings on either side, and they're all like 3 or 4 story buildings, and it's a gauntlet. And I just think there was so much unrest in other cities where people were experiencing violence during Pride and things like that, that I just started to become very aware of how easy it would be to get shot. And I thought, I don't want to do Pride anymore. It scared me. And so I stopped. Yeah, I stopped. I just, like I don't mind. I'm not going to stop other people or raise some kind of ruckus. But I just became very aware of that.
The environment?
Yeah. Because it's not the people that want to celebrate Pride, but it's the people that will go out of their way to go to a Pride to prove a point. You know what I mean? Or any rally. There's always somebody there that's only going to stir the pot. And I feel like it's so close. We get so close to stirring pots that cause, unnecessary drama.
I hear you.
Yeah, so
that was back in 2016, so I was kind of down for the Black Lives Matter protest.
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense.
No, I didn't.
But at the same time, I totally get you. In any kind of environment, there's a lot of people. It's a kind of closed off roads and stuff like that. And
yeah.
Where do I go if something were to go down here?
Yeah.
So.
I'm just going to go into Hope and Bloom, and I'm going to take this one called Strength here, because I feel like this choral's not interested in playing today. So I'm just going to take another smudger, just a little smudger like that, and I'm just going to go right into there.
I love a little smudger.
You heard me. Oh yeah, look at that.
Hi, Rex Trex.
Oh, Rex is here. Watch out. Yeah, did you see that color went on much better? That coral just seemed to kind of, I think it would have been better on its own, but it got overrun by the purple. So funny, I never use a palette mirror, but because of how we're set up, I'm using it. And now I keep going in, and then I look for the mirror. Oh, no, it's in my hand.
Funny. Did I say hello to Martha Grenwald yet? Hi,
Martha. She just got back from one of those longboat cruises in Amsterdam or out that way.
I hope you're feeling better soon, Martha. She said she's been a bit under the weather.
Oh, that's post-travel.
Yeah.
She's got airplane lung.
And have I said hello to Martha Anastasia yet? Hello, Martha Anastasia.
Another one who's trouble.
Michelle Sennett.
Oh, yes.
Hey, also to Jorge and Wilhelmina.
Hey, Michelle. I hope you and your boyfriend are doing well. They send me the best postcards from Europe when they travel.
Oh, there's David Vogelot. Hi,
David. He's trouble. Happy Pride, everybody. I'm just going back into the Beauty Moon Gospel, Let Them Eat Cake, the purple, with a fluffy brush, and I'm just blending out that purple into this pink. What I like to do is do like a dab into one and then a dab into the other and blend it out that way.
Hi, Carrie Toby.
Carrie Toby. Do, 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 do. That's the French and Saunders thing. French and Saunders. Do, 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 do.
And if I missed you saying hello, just give me a
say something hateful.
In the comments. Exactly.
Say something hateful.
That's what I like.
She does. She's a masochist.
I can give. I can take. It's called being an Aries. You should know.
I do know. I don't know. I don't do as much giving as much taking as I do giving. Let me tell you what. And then I'm just taking this fluffy brush and I'm going to blend out that strength just a bit. It's so hot in Toronto and it's not even hot yet. First day of summer and I'm always warm, so whenever somebody comes over, I immediately go, "Is it hot in here?" And they're like, "No, it's fine." And then I like, "Is it hot outside?" It's like, "Yeah, it's hot outside." Okay, good. So I don't feel badly running my air conditioner. But I have no sense of it. You know, I just know if I'm hot or I don't know what's considered hot or not.
Well, you're hot for sure, Wilma.
Yeah. So now I'm just going to go into my palette, into Sorcerer. When I first was thinking about doing Wilma Fingerdo, I there was this voice that seriously came from, and the voice was like, "What's going on? What's happening? Seriously, what's happening? Yeah, but listen, what's happening?" And it sounded too much like Ed Grimsby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Martin Short's character from
Ed Brimley?
Ed Brimley, that's it. And so I stopped. And I just think it's easier to do Wilma with my own voice.
Yeah, fair enough.
So I'm just going into seriously and I'm blending the black into the dark area here. I want more depth. I've also been putting darker just in this area here.
Oh, nice.
Just to kind of define. Amy!
I love that, you know, like that darker right in that area.
Yeah, it just pops everything out. Pop it out, pop it out.
Now, do we know who the moniker Boston Terrier is? Hello, Boston Terrier.
No, I don't think I do. Do I?
Hi. Boston Terrier, how do we greet thee? Good afternoon and bon tidings to you this day.
Well, lar-de-dar. Now I'm going back into the gospel to get some more of that purple back on. Let them eat cake. Loves it.
Yeah, Rex Trek mentioning that it's the longest day of the year was the longest day of the year.
Yesterday,
yeah. And today, June 21st in Canada, is National Indigenous Persons Day.
Oh.
So, and it's in part because it coincides with the solstice.
Oh.
Because in addition to being Pride here in Toronto in June, in the country, June is National Indigenous History Month.
Mm.
Boston Terrier.
Sorry, I just realized I had this up in front of my face.
That's why I'm throwing things up on the screen. Hi, Kim. You know what? I love a lurk myself. I've been known to lurk, hang out, and look good in a dark corner. Hi, Kim. Nice to meet you.
I add nothing to that code. Is that who Boston Terrier is Kim?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to now. I've been trying to use. I'm just going to use white. I have some. David Burkett, who's a great supporter of the Fingerdo Review, sent me these P. Louise colored eyeshadow bases.
Oh, neat.
And they're great for if you're putting like orange on your lid and you want orange to stand out. It just helps it pop. These are pastel colors too, so they're not overly intense. So like the blue that's here is more of a periwinkle, like bordering on like a lavendery blue.
Yeah.
And then the purple it's almost a blurple, like it's
right.
So every time I do an eyeshadow, I think, oh, maybe I can use these, and then I don't. It's not the right color, but I do like to use them. They're very helpful. So Tori is releasing a new palette on the 3rd of July called Medusa, and she's already started to tease the color story on Instagram.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. And one of the things that she's releasing with that is a black eyeshadow base for her multi-chromes and all that I definitely want to get my hands on that. And then she also 2 different pigments that go with the palette as well. One's a silver pigment and one's a black pigment, and they both have like other colors in them, but it's like mostly a silver with like rainbow reflex, and mostly a black with like jewel toned reflex in it.
So that Medusa palette is going to come out on June 27th.
Oh, June 27. Oh,
yeah.
Fabulous. Oh, even sooner.
Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like we've got some comments about, I think this is about the solstice, and Makeup Therapy is saying for Slovian culture today is a day of love and some traditions about good fortune.
That's Manuela, Makeup Therapy. How are you, Manuela? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on around the solstice. My brother and his wife got married at the winter solstice.
Oh, nice.
Mostly because it gave them a reason to not have to be available for any of the families at Christmas.
Well, a solid plan.
But I think they keep going back to her family's house every Christmas.
Right.
But my sister-in-law's Polish, and I just find my brother and I were raised completely without any family history or like no ethnicity, no
Right.
religion. So I'm always good to defer to other people. Like if somebody wants to do something for Christmas, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, because I wouldn't do that. But it's because I never do that I think, oh, that might be fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Hi, Rodney.
Oh,
nice
Rodney's here. So I'm just trying to think, what do I want to do with this here?
What do we want to do?
Look at these colors in here. This is the Love and Bloom, Hope and Bloom palette. And this is the Bloom. It's like an orange, orange shimmer.
Yeah.
And then there's this one here, Hope, which is like a pink blue.
Right, like a shirt.
Really beautiful, yeah. And then this is Chance. It's a pink shimmer, very metallic. And then we have Faith, which is the purple one down here. Again, very,
nice.
Yeah, very metallic. I think what I'm going to do for this lid is I'm going to go in with a powder first. And I think I'm going to use, from my palette, DQA, which is this orange.
Nice.
And I just want to put that on my cut crease. And then we'll go in with the shimmer to brighten it all up. I like pink and orange together.
Me too. Bye, Michelle. Have a great day. Happy Pride. Happy summer. Just gotta step aside. But love that you're here.
Bye. Have a good day. Don't take any wooden nickels.
Rodney says, sending you big love from the land of 110 Fahrenheit.
Well, is he in New York?
I'm wondering. Rodney, tell us about this.
Yeah, is that Rodney Erickson? I think he's in New York. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. Where are you, Rodney? Are you still?
Rodney, we're curious.
Yeah.
We want to know. Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, sweet oh, good grief.
It's a dry heat.
So's your mother. So's your mother.
Amazing.
The first time I went,
oh,
I went to San Diego one year, and oh my God, I came out of the airport and it was so warm. And like, we get heat in Canada, don't get me wrong.
yeah.
But oh my God, it was so hot. And it stymied me. Like, as I was coming out of the airport, I was like, oh. And I had to sit down, like, just for that minute. But then I realized my reaction to the heat was, my initial reaction was just the fear of like, oh God, because in Toronto, when it's that hot, it's also impossible to breathe. And so I realized, oh, this is what they mean by it's a dry heat. It was actually fine, just really hot.
Yeah.
Because the nice thing when it's dry and hot is you're sweating, but you're not sweating into more moisture. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Catherine says that there's a heat dome in the Midwest. I'm like, oh.
I think it's called Donald Trump.
Oh my Lord in heaven. Well, my thoughts and prayers, Catherine, for that heat.
I'm going into criminal, and I'm going to take some of this bricky brown color. It doesn't have a name, but it's right there. And I'm just going to put this on the outer corner of my lid. I like to get dimension on my lid.
Meanwhile, Martha Grunwald is saying they had to turn the heat back on where they are.
Braggart.
Yeah, that is not an issue here.
Yeah.
I can tell you that.
I always like it when Americans, because Toronto is so much further south than a lot of Canada. And when we talk about how hot it is in Toronto, like, we're further south than Chicago. And so I love it when people don't realize what we're dealing with here in Toronto, heat-wise.
They don't realize that Ontario sticks its tail right down there.
Right? Wow.
We've got some summer lovers here. Rex is all caps. I love summer. And I believe Manuela is saying they love summer too.
Yeah.
I'm glad someone does.
I'm not a summer person. Someone. Yeah. No, it's not for me, that's for sure.
Not for me either.
No, I don't like. I like fall, and I like all of fall. Like, right when it starts to just start to go cooler, and then when that first frost of winter, but we're not there yet.
Right.
I love that. I love sweaters. I love scarves. I don't like getting all done up in like parka. Yeah. But I do like winter clothing. Like, not winter clothing, but fall, sweaters and stuff like that.
Yeah. I do like coziness.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I love cozy. I love a hot beverage. I love a blanket, curled up, twinkle lights. I love all that stuff.
Yeah.
Summer, I don't think of it as a time to be cozy.
No, don't touch me is the theme of summer for me.
Yeah.
I can feel you.
Yeah, I'm pretty much an angry cat. Most of summer.
Yeah. This orange that I'm using right now is from Mantra, and it's Inferno. And it is blending in a treat.
Wonderful. Ooh, supposed to be near 100 degrees Fahrenheit tomorrow in northern Michigan.
There's no such place.
Ugh.
I'm just going to have my Tim Hortons coffee. I'm so upset. Tim Hortons isn't Canadian anymore.
Yeah, it hasn't been for a while. Yeah, I know. Rude awakening.
Yeah, like, I've been really doing very well in not buying American. Sorry, Americans.
Same.
I was surprised at how many products that I just blindly buy without knowing where they came from.
Same.
And I have to say, the one thing that I will always be thankful for in this time of unrest and tariffs and shit like that is that there's been a great sense of nationalism in Canada that I didn't grow up with. We were so overshadowed by America all the time. And like I didn't even like the Canadian national anthem. It was boring compared to there were no rockets, red glare in the Canadian anthem.
Right.
It was maple syrup and
You
poutine.
don't even
And
like being able to sing it in French?
no, I hated that. I hate bilingualism. I'm not saying that I don't like French people. But I'm clearly not saying I love them. No, I do love the fact that we're bilingual here, but I don't have any French.
Right.
So I find sometimes when I'm watching like a political debate, which is very rarely, but I did this recently, there's just that moment where you're like watching things and they break into French, and I'm like, have they been speaking French the whole time? Like, am I having a stroke? What's happening?
Goodness. Well, I want to say give a thank you to Rex because he gives it to Purdue.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm misgendering.
No, I think Rex is a dirty boy.
You know what I mean? Whatever you want to be today, I'm here to honor that for you.
Yeah. So yeah, if your pronouns are not what one would assume by name, then don't feel badly. Just tell Candace she's wrong.
Exactly. Tell me I'm wrong. I'll do okay.
I'm using Jolie Beauty's glitter gel. This is the only product I'll buy from Jolie. They just came out with 4 different palettes, and 2 of them I think are really beautiful looking, but I just know how crappy their formulas are and how disappointing their just the pigments and stuff. Like, I think they're probably fine for day walkers, but for drag queen, they're not the best. And so I just I've bought a few things from them. I've also had people send me stuff, like they bought something and weren't, oh, I had this, do you want to try it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And really just almost every time, if it's Jolie, I'm disappointed. So but this clear gel, this is great. I'm just putting this on my cut crease area.
You're looking in some ways like a beautiful sunset.
Ooh.
Yes, just to go along with Manuela's love of summer evenings and sunsets. You do look a beautiful, prideful sunset.
I think Manuela now lives in Scotland.
Oh, really?
I think. If I'm wrong, Manuela, tell me where you're living now, because I have a feeling that you're in Scotland, and you can't go from somewhere nice and warm to Scotland. You just can't. I always think of Canada as being, cooler than a lot of places. And we had family come from Scotland back in the 80s. I didn't know anything about Scotland, and they all showed up, and it was October here, and we're all going around in long sleeve shirts and jeans, and they were in shorts and t-shirts because it was so warm for them.
Well, I can understand that. I think that's true too. I think a lot of people also go to Scotland and they're not prepared, especially if they're going to the Highlands. They're not prepared for the environment.
No.
And those Highlanders will tell you off.
They will. They're not shy.
Yeah, first of all, you better not be a Campbell. Second of all.
Hello, where's the pub? Are you Campbell? That's not even a Scottish accent. I don't know what I'm doing.
But I enjoyed it. I could tell the feeling.
Ach, laddie.
Ach, laddie.
I do the worst Scottish accent. It's a hard accent to do. Welsh and Scottish. Irish I can do. I don't know why I can do an Irish one. So now I've gone into Hope and Bloom. And I am using Bloom, the orange one here, that has a very gold highlight. So I'm just using that all in here, just to put some colory shimmer down. I've wanted to go to Scotland, but I don't know anyone. You know what I mean? Like, so there's never been an urgency, or like I'm sure I still have family there, but I don't know them. And what's funny is if somebody knocked at the door and said, I'm your cousin from Scotland, and I didn't know them, I'd of course host. Come on in, unpack, put your feet up.
So listen, everyone, that's your cue. If you want to come by, just say you're from Scotland and that you're related.
Yeah, I'll give you a seat. But I would never do that. I would never just show up somewhere and say, oh, I'm your cousin.
That's so weird because I always felt like my Scottish side of the family, like my mom and my granny, and all, they loved a pot by. They were really into the pot buys and knocking on people's doors and hey, I've just come over and meeting people on the street and being like, oh, do you need a place to sleep? Come by our place. And you're like, oh, but that's just the way they were, just like so friendly.
Yeah. I also think it's where you are living. Like if you're in a town that's very, social, and I think you're going to think that way more. Whereas if you're from like a big city where no one talks to each other or makes eye contact, you're going to be different.
Amazing. Well, you know what? I'm not sure. I'm going to say Harmon Beak.
He's my latest Patreoner. Hello, Harmon.
Exactly what Harmon is saying. I had to laugh that I was called a princess, the princess membership level in the last video. I'm a man of 70 years, 6 feet, and 263 pounds. But hey, I can always become a queen. Well, Harmon, I'm a princess right along with you. So welcome to Princess Day.
Princesses know no age.
Exactly. Yeah, like Princess Grace.
Yeah. Or whomever. Yes, you're in the princess tier, Harmon. Harmon, does anyone ever call you Ham?
Oh, interesting.
It's just a short form for Harmon.
Rodney just also wanted to say, give you your flowers for the success of the makeup collaboration.
Oh,
yeah, the
thanks.
collab has gone so well.
Whew. Now then.
Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly throw your palette up on the screen there.
Woo! Look at it.
Look at the beauty.
Look at it.
Look at the beauty of the arts. Denise Journeau did the art.
Yes,
right?
yes. My Denise, my wig whisperer.
Denise is fab.
I'm just going into 6 feet under this little Beauty Moon palette, and I'm going into Lost Soul, which is this blue one here, and I'm just accenting my crease line. Just want there to be more definition. I love a little pencil brush.
I do too.
So much fun.
I do too. I use so many brushes that are called concealer brushes for like pinpoint shadow and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't know, I'm gonna be using this for shadow kids.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I have one of these brushes here. I used it today for. So this is an old Makeup Geek brush, and it says concealer brush right on it.
Yeah.
Concealer. But I would never have used something this big. I would use a flat one for concealer.
Yeah.
But I use this for eye primer because it goes everywhere perfectly. So and it just saves time. So now I'm just going to go in with this fluffy, and I want to get that purple from Gospel, which is Let Them Eat Cake, this color, and I'm going to tap it into Lost Soul from 6 feet under, just to blend this out just a bit. Let's get some more definition there. Yeah. Yeah, every Pride, I feel like I always have some kind of idea of what I might like to do, and then I never do it. And it's only because by the time Pride rolls around, I'm exhausted.
Totally, Rex. In the end, all we are other people's memories. It's what kind of memories we leave them with that matters the most.
Yes, ma'am.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
All right. So I think I'm more or less done with the upper. I'm going to put some liner on now.
Nice.
Got to move the Pola Vortex wig out of the way. Using the Trixie Mattel eye gel.
How are you finding that?
It's good. I like it. It hasn't dried out yet, which was always my worry with it. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know what my problem is with eyeliner these days. I just don't have the luck with eyeliner I used to. But this goes on really well. It's waterproof or close to it.
Oh, neat. Well, while you're doing that, and of course not to distract you from it, but Martha has a question. Wilma, are you making any pride costumes for any drag queens?
Well, not really. I am doing some sewing, but it's not necessarily like I just finished a dress and a matching pair of gloves for Carlotta Carlisle, but they weren't for Pride.
Right, it was not necessarily.
Then I have a couple of other dresses for Carlotta that I just have to finish.
Oh, amazing. Is there any kind of like dress or outfit that you're like, wow, I love a project like this?
No.
So then the next question was going to be, is there anyone that you really dislike? So it sounds like all of them.
No, I just don't, like, when I used to look through fashion magazines or something, I'd see like a Terry Mugler or something, and I just lose my mind and go, oh. But then after years and years of trying to make stuff like that, I don't care. I'm not interested anymore. I'm kind of over it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Rex has a question, and maybe we'll ask for a little bit more detail on this. Is Wilma, do you ever watch some of your early videos?
No, I don't watch anything I do.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, even stand-up, I don't watch it.
Yeah, watching stand-up sets can be... I'm sure I would have gotten a lot better if I had watched them more.
I don't know. I just don't enjoy looking at myself. Like, it's just, I was on a TV show for 3 seasons. I've never seen an episode.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't care. That's not true. We had to watch one episode. We were filming, and we were in a hotel, and I think our show was premiering. The new season was premiering. And I sat in a way where I didn't have to look at the screen. But I find I'm too self-conscious. I don't like myself enough to look at myself. So if I were to do that, I wouldn't be who it is they want me to be that made them hire me in the first place. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I have to be oblivious to myself to maintain whatever I've established. It's very awkward.
I get it. For me, I would call, for myself, I would call that, I would become too self-conscious about it, and I would not be natural anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly what my problem is. I'm too self-conscious. But the funny thing is that I have no self-consciousness when I want to do something, but it's after the fact. Yeah. But also, I don't walk around like, when I was on the radio, sometimes people would recognize my voice and go, oh, are you Richard Ryder from the radio? I'd be like, I am. Like, because my attitude was, well, I'm not on the radio right now, so I'm not on the radio, you know? Right. And
so Rodney has a question. Any up and coming comedians that you recommend watching?
No. I haven't seen anybody really.
You know, I'm going to name a couple of people who are, I will say, doing well, and they absolutely have Toronto connections. Mm-hmm. One of them right now is Steph Tolev, who is a Toronto comedian, and they're actually having a Netflix special come out next week.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of hers.
Oh, no?
No.
Steph was a good friend of mine, and I just really, I'm so happy for her success. Even if her comedy is not necessarily a cup of tea, anytime.
Oh, I'm thrilled the Canadian's got a Netflix special, yeah.
Success. the other one I would say is Deanne Smith.
Oh yeah.
The stuff that Deanne is out there doing. And the other person who I has been making a splash, and in my estimation, like deservedly so, is Robbie Hoffman. So Robbie Hoffman is out there. Robbie was recently on an episode of Everybody's Live with John Mulaney, and Robbie got married to Gabby Windey, who used to be on The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, The Bachelor. So Robbie's doing great. Robbie is on Hacks, the Gene Smart show. So,
what character is he?
She.
Oh.
Robbie is the receptionist, the office worker that the two agents hire.
The weird.
The farting.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So funny.
Yeah.
They're so funny.
Yeah. So Robbie.
You know what was almost.
Is like from Montreal.
Oh, good for her.
And we met doing stand up in Toronto, and then subsequently Robbie moved to the US, did a bunch of gigs with Chris Gethard, and has just been doing amazing work. And I'm just so happy for every success that Robbie is achieving.
Yeah, no, she's doing really well. You know what was almost a deal breaker for me with Hacks?
What?
That big girl who was the other agent.
Oh yeah, that's
I
right.
can't stand her. Also, it's not her, but it's that type of humor and that boorish, ignorant, self-absorbed, completely unaware of the rest of the world. I don't like it. It's also a reason why I didn't like Bridesmaids. Because there's just this awkward social moment people find funny. I don't find that funny.
Right.
And I feel like her character, although she did have a bit of a redemption arc, and I think maybe the writers were also feeling like she was becoming a little too volatile to the storyline. But I just don't like that actress. I don't know what it is about her. She grits my teeth. But I do like Hacks.
I will say, yeah, I think that show has a good arc. So I will say, Rodney or anybody, if you're looking for a show to get to watch, I would highly recommend Hacks. I think it's well done. You'll see Robbie Hoffman make it up to this season. And you know what? There was another kind of a little bit more of I don't know what else to call it, but say softer around the edges show, but really kind of went for kind of a low key humor show. And they did 3 seasons of it. It was called Somebody Somewhere. And Bridget Everett led that show, and they did 3 seasons. Go back, watch it. It's a really gentle, fun, queer so show. It's really about queer people finding their own family in Manhattan, Kansas. So Bridget Everett character moves back to her hometown of Manhattan, Kansas after her sister passes away, and it's sort of her finding a new family in that situation. And it's low key humor. It's everyday slice of life type humor.
Nice.
So, Godiva Ferguson, crap, late to the party. You know what? Glad you're here now. Glad you're here now, loving that you're here. And they're saying, damn time zones. Well, what time zone are you in? We're in ET. So I guess that's the alien time zone. I mean, I like to make a fresh joke about some movie from the early 80s.
Well, there's an oxymoron.
There you go. Exactly. And we love questions. So if you have any questions or anything coming up, and I love to give advice too, unsolicited.
Oh, she'll call me up for no reason and tell me something that has nothing to do with anything I'm doing.
I mean, and that's what I bring to the table. So don't die.
Try not to.
Yeah, please don't. We've got to be on this live with people. Central. Okay, you're in the Central time zone. Okay, wonderful.
So what's that?
That's Chicago.
3 hours?
Like
an hour? 2 hours? Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So I've been using this Maron Clown White Light.
Nice.
It's not as thick as like a regular Clown White can be, but it's really great at using like as a concealer for drag queens because it's full coverage, but it's lightweight. So that's what I just used on my eyes.
Yeah, I know you asked me if I was doing anything for Pride. Does anyone else today? Does anyone else have a really great Pride thing they're doing? Or not even Pride, just what you're doing in June. Anything coming up in July? What are your schemes? What's developing? Let us know.
Yeah, who goes to the cottage?
Yeah, can I come with you? Oh my God, Martha! Yeah. Anyone excited for Project Runway with Utica? Yes, I am. I am excited for it. I would love to see the faction.
I'm more interested in finding the story as to why Heidi Klum all of a sudden is now doing that again after she and Tim Gunn left in such a huff.
Oh, that's true. Well, I'm sure it's money.
Well, it was her show, but I'm sure it had a lot to do with the Weinsteins.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I'm sure that somehow they've been extricated from it. Or maybe they bought it back.
Oh, they could have done 100 things. We don't know.
Andrew, I'm with you. Yeah, clock that for sure. Money.
She keeps having kids, that Heidi Klum.
Beautiful babies.
No.
Yeah, I am excited about that. And I'm excited about Monet Exchange on the next season of Traitors with Alan Cumming.
Poor Monet.
Why poor Monet?
Well, she always seems to be a step or two behind Bob.
Well, you know what? Let Bob go in there and take the hard hits first. So then, and you know what? The Peppermint was on the show first. So
was she really?
Yeah. So Peppermint was on, and you know what? Peppermint was banished early in the show. It was like not cool how quickly people kind of turned on Peppermint for no reason. And Bob lasted a little bit longer. So I'm hoping Monet goes a little bit longer still. Back to Heidi Klum, Martha is saying there was a show. They did a show on Amazon for a couple of seasons. That's her and Tim
making the cut.
Tim Gunn making the cut. Yeah. Monet is good at gaslighting. Yeah, she'll go far. Agree. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping we get to squeeze all the juice out of Monet being on Traitors.
Poppy and Fluff being true Brit, who's happy for Wimbledon.
Yeah, Wimbledon. You know what? Sometimes there's friends of mine who are huge tennis fans, and they live in the complete opposite side of town to me. But still, when it's Wimbledon, I'll be like, I'm getting up early and hauling my butt over to the other side of town just to watch the finals together. Usually the men's finals, but you know, we'll watch both.
Nice.
I don't even know when does Wimbledon start? I mean, if only I had access to some kind of technology where I could learn that.
I have a friend who's in England right now, and he went to Ascot the first day of that.
All right, Wimbledon from June the 30th to July the 13th. Alrighty. Now I know.
Now you know.
Now I know.
Ask and you shall be informed.
I also just want to point out, Wilma, that delightful pride curtain behind you.
Yes.
Is that available anywhere?
On my Redbubble store.
Ooh.
The pattern itself is you can get it just one single strip of it, on a mug, a t-shirt, whatever. But this is the um, shower curtain, and I went for just the full repeat.
Nice.
Yeah. Lar Souza is the artist.
Nice.
I
Ooh, orange. Looking
did
orange.
new eyelashes, but I'm not sure how they're going to look on my face because I haven't tried them out yet.
Oh, sweet.
This is what they look like.
Ooh, wow.
Huge. They're huge. They're like a bug.
Wow.
So that's what I'm going to try and put on.
I'm just gonna put up your Redbubble store for
Nice.
Look at see. So this is that's
Yeah.
a great pattern over
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Wilma
it.
Pride.
Yeah.
So we've got that.
And then the artwork from the Wilma Fingerdo palette is there.
Stenosha.
I don't know if anybody enjoys putting on false eyelashes. It took me so long to learn how to put them on. And part of that learning curve was realizing that it is that awkward. Sometimes I think this guy, like, I'm trying to teach myself how to play the ukulele, and some chords, it's like, that's not natural. And then I look at all the different ways to fret a chord. It's like, no, that's it. All right.
So Godiva, yes, it is a shower curtain. Yes, it is available on Redbubble, and we've got that going on the ribbon at the bottom of the screen, the Redbubble shop.
But do keep in mind, Redbubble has sales all the time. They just had the Father's Day one where you could get up to 25, up to 40% off some things. I don't know what the things are, but if you have patience, if you don't need something right away, you can save money.
Nice.
Just wait for a sale. They come along.
I love that. Just like buses and men.
Yeah. Oh, that's not too bad. I think that went on.
Gorgeous. Do you know what it kind of the color story reminds me? Do you know there's that when Annie Lennox had her solo album and she did
Diva, yeah.
It sort of gives me that pink and orange.
I think that's where I fell in love with Pink and Orange together, was that album cover.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
So Rex was wondering if you ever do Wilhelmina's makeup. What's
not anymore? Not anymore.
You started out doing it.
Oh yeah, I had to. Yeah.
I had to.
Yeah, the first time when I first did Wilhelmina's makeup, it was because I was getting ready to film as Wilhelmina, and my friend Ted, who is Wilhelmina, was watching me, and I kept thinking, I thought something was wrong. Is there something wrong? Did I put something? There's no, I'm just watching what you're doing. And I said, would you like me to put you in makeup one day? And he's like, yeah, which surprised me only because Ted had never really, I think they look pretty even. They hadn't never really shown an interest one way or another, and so because we're both performers, there's no point putting a whole face on somebody and not doing something with it. So I think we filmed the very first day I put him in makeup. We filmed something, and we've been kind of filming ever since.
I love that. I love you to do a show.
I really like it too. But I've forgotten how to do it on my own. So one of the things that was funny when we started filming together is, like, Jorge kind of took a sidestep and to the back of the bus type of thing, and then my side-eye cam, like, there are just elements. My princess name my drag queen name in high school.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff that kind of started to go by the wayside because I had created those things as something to do standing there alone.
Right.
And then so now I'm trying to bring them all back in. Like, we brought Jorge back, thank goodness.
I love that. I loved that. We've got a few great comments here. Thank you, Godiva, for getting the palette. Hasn't made it to the eyeballs, but oh my god, it's glorious. Just smeared on my arms. Can I tell you? I'm very pro. I think we should all be able to go out with eyeshadow smeared on our arms.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I just think that should be the fashion.
Excuse me.
Rex wants you to compliment Wilhelmina, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Let's not have her head get too big.
How does he mean he wants me?
Just to tell Wilhelmina that she paints a good mug.
Oh yeah, no, she's. I'll tell you. The other day she put on the best eyebrow. It was this one. The other one I don't know what that was. But it was her best eyebrow to date, and I was just like, oh, look at that, because that's been her bane of existence lately. Has been her eyebrows, and I mean, I have a specific way of putting on my eyebrows, but it took me years to kind of develop that. And so, like when Wilhelmina's doing her looks and that, I don't try and tell her how to do them, but I try and give her like technical advice. Like, well, this color never blends well with that color. Like, you know, like you have orange and you have green, you'll make brown. You know, stuff like that. Because Ted's a doctor. He has no art background. So there's no color theory. There's no, like, he might look at a painting and say, oh, I like that painting, but he couldn't tell you why he likes that painting.
Right.
And so he used to look at drag queens and go, oh, I don't know what she's doing, but I'm not a fan of her makeup or something. Right. And now he's much more articulate because he knows what he's talking about. Right. And with blending and color theory and all of that, you just learn it.
Totally. You know, Martha, Anastasia, I think, you know what, I would be very jealous, but I think you're right, is that she says that she's still waiting for a Jane Russell and Marilyn Monroe look from you and Wilhelmina. Yeah. There's no time of day that I won't watch Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. I love that movie. I've loved it since I was a kid.
That outfit she wears to board the boat with the leopard or whatever the across the front and it hangs down the back. It's my favorite thing she has on in that movie.
I will also say, like, in that movie, I just love everything Jane. I wanted to be Jane Russell so badly.
Yeah. Nobody chaperones the chaperone. Exactly. That's why I'm so right for this job. Yeah.
I like the acerbic nature of that character.
She did another movie with another woman where they were almost recreating the characters from Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. I just was watching it. I can't tell you the name of it because I've never seen it before. But Jane Russell played the blonde. Although I don't think she was blonde in it, but she played the stupider, and it was just very, very funny because she's better as the broad.
For sure. Oh, you know, while we're collecting ideas, we have Jane Russell, Marilyn Monroe. Rex is saying, what about an Endora and Samantha look?
Well, I'm working on an Endora wig right now.
Ooh, sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michelle. Michelle is back and loves the eyes. They are. It is a beautiful eye look that you've done.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm just going to go in. So I have a secret weapon.
Secret weapon.
I bought this off her website after her showing on Drag Race UK. Lavoie has a whole line of makeup. One of the things I have here is, hold on, her lipstick.
Oh, neat. Oh, I love
Vanessa
that.
Williams wears this on stage in the West End. It's just a nice red.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to put this on here. It's a bricky red. It's not like a blue red. But when I saw Vanessa Williams wearing it, I thought, oh, that's a nice red. And
Nice.
Yeah. And then this product is a liquid eyeshadow in silver. And so what I do with this is just from the inside, put all this sparkle on top of whatever. Just adds that extra glitter. Just to the inner eyelid area. And then I have these glitter liners from P. Louise. They came in the advent calendar. One's pinky gold and one's gold gold. I'm going to use the gold gold. And I just like to use this to highlight my cut crease.
Oh, sweet. Hot stuff, Wilma.
Oh, thank you. So this just, especially with my eyelashes, this kind of just helps that cut crease kind of shine through the eyelash bronze. Yeah.
Nice.
It just gives that extra pop of dimension. And then I'm going to go into, I think I'm going to take that bloom, which I used on my eyelid.
Oh.
Yeah, it went very pink on the lip, which is nice.
Oh.
Yeah. But this helps me not need lip gloss. Because lip gloss sticks to my wigs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's more or less the look for today. More or less. So now we're going to come to the Pola Vortex Frost wig. Now, Pola was on, I think, season 5 of Camp Wanakiki. And it was the same season as Coco Chanel. And she's got a great Instagram that all of, like, since Camp Wanakiki, Pola's been doing wig work.
I'm showing the Instagram now.
Oh, look at these wigs. So while
This
that's
is
happening, I'm going to put
Vortex
my,
Frost.
yeah. So while that's happening, I'm just going to pop mine on. So she had a bunch of wigs, and she asked me if I wanted one. And I'm like, yes, of course. I'm a whore for a wig.
Woohoo.
And
Look at that.
cute.
I love that.
I'm just going to tilt the camera just back, just a snickerdoodle.
Look at that.
Look at how big it is.
That is amazing.
It's big, it's luscious, it's blonde. Ted calls this McCurly fries. I also realized I don't just have to take some of this bake off.
Rodney just saying he loved that cut crease technique.
Yeah, it's great, right? Because you just get to see, especially in a look like this where I want it to be almost like a smoky look from the eyelid out. But I can't have that kind of makeup on my face. It doesn't work. But also, I think for a drag queen, you want that lighter lid area just so there's some definition on the face. But yeah, I love this wig. I don't wear this wig. I keep this wig on display. Like, it's on display in my house. You see it when you come over, and I love that. But it doesn't. I don't wear it very often because I need to make a pink polka dot outfit to go with it.
That would look really sweet.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, look, it's so cute. And because I don't have a lot of hair, I don't need to hide anything, but I think I could probably bring it back in the back of it. And this is foam, so you can reshape it with heat.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I'm just making sure all the tendrils are, there we go. But yeah, I don't know what they cost. I think they're about $80 plus shipping.
And that's 80 Canadian.
I think so. I don't know, because as she's doing now, she's doing a lot of other things. Like she does ornamental flowers in the foam, and she's been doing hats. She had some like wizarding hats and stuff like that. Very fun, very cosplay. But I like this because it reminds me of the Rosie the Riveter.
Oh yeah.
I just love that
see
image.
that.
Yeah.
I can totally see that.
If I were doing my makeup for this week, I would have brought more contour down just so this isn't so white looking.
Right.
But I've also been using, as I say, corally orange blushes. This is the Blend Bunny's Juicy Cheeks palette. And so I used this color and this color. And I'm actually just going to, I'm just going to take that red a bit, tap it into there, and then into that yellow just a bit.
Nice.
And I like to do the face because if you do that, the blush will only go on the apple of your cheek. It won't go anywhere else because there's nowhere else for it to go. But yeah, I think that's a bit better.
I have to say, with makeup, I think I am always very blush shy. I never feel like I'm doing it right.
Yeah, it's easy to go too far. And then I have.
Oh my gosh, that bow
here it
looks
is.
so great on camera.
Oh, here it is. So Unearthly Cosmetics did a Halloween mystery box 100 years ago, and this was part of it. It's a highlight palette, and there's 3 highlighters. And this purple one is like very silver, and then this green is goldy on the skin, and then this is like the pink orange.
Nice.
So I'm going to use the pink orange one on this. The reason I don't use this highlight is because I usually use pink, and I find that this highlight kind of fights pink tones. So no, I think that looks great. Yeah.
What's Stenoka?
Yeah, it's fun. This is a great. I'm not a big fan of this company anymore. They've kind of gone weird.
Oh.
But that's fine. Like they're allowed to do whatever the hell they want.
People are
You know,
allowed to go weird.
like I don't buy a lot of P. Louise anymore either because they went a little weird. Everything that P. Louise was doing seemed to be attached to a key ring.
Oh.
Like it was going to be sold at Claire's or something in the mall. And I just didn't like that. And I'm not that person. I'm not 12. And I don't have a problem with people who are 12. Well, I do. But but I mean, if that's who you are, that's great. I'm glad that there's products out there for you. But when I started buying from P. Louise, it was very much an MUA, a makeup artist company. And it's become very, I feel like after Jeffree Star got canceled, they picked up the mantle of having unnecessary packaging, like very bougie packaging, which is fine. I think that you need to kind of create I think some makeup needs to have like a whole mood from opening it to wearing it. You want the whole experience of opulence or whatever. Yeah. And so there was a period there with P. Louise where I really didn't care about their packaging. I mean, I'd be the first to tell you it was unnecessary, but it didn't stop me from buying. But then all of their mystery boxes kept getting these drip kits or lip drips or something, and it was a duo of a lip oil and a lip balm or something. And they advertise that their mystery boxes have new products. And yet everyone was getting this lip drip thing. And the thing was, the new product was the flavor, not the actual product. Like, that's not a new product. That's a variation on a product. Yeah. So I kind of just got fed up with them on my own. Like, no offense to anyone who's enjoying them, but I just stopped. I haven't bought anything from them since the Advent calendar. But I do get the eyeshadow primer from them. But I'm not a big fan of this anymore either. Really? I find it a little wet. I just find it a little wet. MAC Cosmetics came out with something called a paint pot that was great, but too dry.
It does dry quickly.
I needed something in the middle of those two products. So I'm still kind of on the lookout for other people. I know that Rude Cosmetics in the States does a line of colored eyeshadow primers and stuff, very much like P. Louise, but I don't like their products either.
Have you ever tried NYX? NYX has this kind of fat white. It looks like a fat eyeliner, but I will use that white.
The stick, I do have it. I have it right here.
How do you?
I love it.
Find that? Yeah, because that's what I use.
Yeah, I have the black one here.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a white one too.
Yeah. Oh, Lady Jenny is here.
Hide your purse.
Hide your purse. So hilarious. Yeah. So, ooh, stunning.
I'm feeling personally that this area is very stark because I set it with white, and the problem is when you set the white for too long, it takes over. So I'm just going to push this back, and I'm taking this is my what's it called? Air spun powder.
Right, Cody Air spun.
Yeah, but this is in rosy beige, so it's just ever so slightly not white. And I'm just going to see if this will tone down this. I just find this white a little jarring.
Bye, Rodney. Thanks for joining.
Bye, Rodney.
We've got about 15 minutes left for the live.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
It does look so much better.
Yeah.
So any other questions, pride, plans? Oh, someone asked earlier if people have been watching All Stars. What are people's thoughts about All Stars?
Well, I'm so happy that we're out of bracket 2, but but I'm also that's all right.
Yeah, that's good.
But I'm also, as much as I love Ginger Minj, and as much as I think she did win that first round, I was surprised that she not only made it to the lip sync, but that she won the lip sync. Now, here's my defense of Ginger. I think everyone did a great job for that country singing thing, and the reason that she got put to the lip sync, the top 2 of the week, she had a full character,
right?
And you could see the backstory and everything she was doing, so I could justify that. I think when we see Ginger doing things like that, we just take it for granted and don't think anything of it. But when you start looking at what everyone else did, even though it was great, it wasn't this or wasn't that. Like, I really liked what Aston Betty did, and the fact that she did wear that horrible, horrible wig. It's like, well done for you. Also, her cowboy hat did not stay on, and she kept her hand on. Like, that hat did not touch the ground. If it came off, she took it off. It did not. I was very impressed with Aston Betty.
Yeah, find a way to work it in.
Yeah, and I think everyone did a really good job. But when it came to the lip sync, I just felt, no offense to Denali, but she went in there wanting to show them a great lip sync. Now, the last lip sync she had, which was to, I think it was to Crystal Waters' 100% Pure Love on the show, that was exactly the right dancing to do for that song. But this song, it wasn't, I felt like Denali was really throwing everything at the wall, and it got a little overdone. So I appreciated what Ginger did more. So I think it's just a question of what do you feel the finished product was. And I think where that lip sync was concerned, I found Ginger Minj more interesting to watch because she was kind of given it as opposed to Denali, who was throwing it around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was definitely felt like Ginger made the choice, just make Rue laugh. That's all I have, just focus.
Yeah.
I don't got to kick. I don't got to split. I don't got to do anything. Just make Rue laugh. And I feel like that was it.
And one thing's for sure, with 6 points, she's going through to the semifinals.
Facts.
You know, unless Denali or because Denali has 3.
Yeah.
And depending on how the rest of the MVQ points go, Diabetti might have 3, but somebody might not give her a point because she was already ahead. Personally, I want both Bettys to go through just to give MIB a hard time.
Same, actually.
Like, that's the only reason I would like both of them to go through. Do I have a preference for the Bettys? No, I think aesthetically I like Dia better than Acid, but I think they're both unique queens. And so far they seem to be working well with others. That's the only problem I had with either of them on their seasons. Like, wow, you're just being a bitch to be a bitch. I prefer a bitch with a modus operandi, not just a raison d'etre.
Right.
So that was my only problem with those two. As for the rest of them, like, God bless Cynthia Lee. God bless her. She's not going anywhere. And Alyssa still doesn't get it. Like, I think Alyssa she thinks that she's beautiful enough to go through it. It's like, you might be beautiful enough, but who cares?
Right.
And she said she had a language barrier before. It's like, well, what's your excuse this time? Because you seem to be making the same mistakes. She seemed to get very floustered with the singing portion of the Stagecoach challenge. And thank God Acid was there to say, just use your own voice, because it was much better.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just found for what was going on, because Denali, she's another one. Like, I really realized this episode why she didn't do better her season, because I don't even remember what she did her season, and it's because she's not very interesting.
Right. It wasn't bringing personality.
You can be a beautiful queen and you can have the tightest rear end in the world, but lots of people have tight rear ends. Lots of people are beautiful. Not everyone's funny.
Yeah.
Not everyone's talented in a way that makes you go, oh, what's happening over there? And Denali, as I said, I feel like the desperation of her wanting to show them another great lip sync, I think the intention was there, but the desperation leaked through it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you know what? I just felt like Denali decided, I'm going to try to do the song in one tone.
Yeah.
Ginger said, I'm going to try to make Rue laugh.
Yeah.
And, what weirdly it reminded me of the song was that, remember back when it was Ms. Cracker versus, I want to say, Michaels. Was it Kelly Michaels? Something Michaels?
Oh, yeah. Kelly Mantle?
No, it was the workout queen. He was who worked out a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And they did when they did the makeover. It was I think her actual partner was Cameron Michaels.
Cameron Michaels, that's it. Yeah.
Apologies to all the Michaelses in the world.
Yeah.
But I remember Rue saying to Cracker, "Oh, you decided to go funny, not sexy. That was the wrong choice." And I felt to myself, no one has ever thought it's the wrong move to try to be funny and make Rue laugh. But sometimes
unless it's porn, funny isn't always well received in porn.
You know what I mean? So it was just so interesting that sometimes you'll get your fingers slapped for funny, but most of the time it works.
Yeah. Well, it's the same time when queens get zinged for being naked on stage all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, that's all well and good and well done you, but we want to see variety. It's not that we want to see you change what you do. We just want to see your interpretation of other things.
Yeah.
And
how does this
if your idea of evening wear is to add a necklace, then that's it.
Interesting. Yeah. Michelle has an interesting question, just to kind of go in another way. And that is, does anyone celebrate Midsommar or St. Hans? I don't think it's St. Hans here. I will say that yesterday, on June 20th, I did watch the horror movie Midsommar. I did watch Midsommar.
You're such a trooper.
I will say I do love that horror movie.
I've never even heard of it.
Oh, well, it's an intense, rather than it, I think, necessarily being about gore or shock, or it's a little bit more atmospheric and creepy, maybe is a better way to kind of put it.
Whatever Happened to Baby Jane was billed as a horror.
Yeah.
There's nothing horrific about it.
Yeah, you know what? I think that was interesting for me too, because the first time I watched that, it wasn't what I was anticipating. And I mean, for all the movies in the world, of course, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane's gonna have a huge amount of build-up. So, you know what, everyone? We're sort of in our last 5 to 6 minutes. So I'm just wondering, does anyone have any questions or any last comments about Pride or what they're doing?
I'm just going to slowly hold up all the palettes I used from.
Do it.
While we're doing that.
Yeah, so those are the Gorge palettes that we used.
There's two
Amazing.
mantras. One is blue, and this one's the orangey one.
Wow.
I think that this is mantra 1, and then there was a mantra 2.
Yeah. Hope and Bloom. That one's on sale right now, everyone.
Best pink palette ever. I have tried a bunch of pink palettes. This one is not only good because of its color story, it blends well. Because when you have a lot of the same color of something, you can end up with a bruised look.
Yeah.
And I was afraid. I bought this because I wanted to support her support of cancer research and everything. But it also intrigued me. And I thought, oh, and yeah, I'm not mad at it. Oh, there's this sad little thing that no one's buying.
Oh, yeah. I've got the ticker going on at the bottom that has the link.
And thanks to everyone. We've had 3 reorders of that.
That's amazing.
And I'm so pleased. Yeah. And Tori is releasing Medusa with a palette, a black eyeshadow base, and 2 glitter pigments. And that's on June 27th. And then this one is the one she did with Piglet TGC, who was on Instagram. Great makeup, full face, riot of color, very much like what's here. But I don't think that they're on Instagram right now. They're taking a step back. But yeah, just such a great color story.
That Let Them Eat Cake is.
Yeah, this one right here. Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, that's the big color on my. Look at.
I definitely think that's for. So let me just throw your palette up again, so we can just have a beautiful look at this.
Yeah, yes.
Seriously, I love a parade, kitty. And I just want to. Oh, my mouse is doing weird things, but I just want to do another shout out for the Denise Chanel artwork.
Yeah, I love Denise. She's great.
Yeah, so amazing. What a wonderful collaboration between so many amazing, talented people.
It takes a village. I'll tell you what.
Take a village. You are not wrong. Not wrong. So let me just see if we've got any more comments in here in the end. Martha Grenwald is saying, Pride is August here, so there is stuff out, but the main events are when the weather is a little bit better. Yeah, totally.
Oh, Steph from Poppy and Fluff made a mention that the Medusa palette will pair well with the Wilma Fingerdew palette. I have to say, all the palettes pair well within the family of Beauty Moon Cosmetics. They, if you have one palette from them, and like if you buy a new one like the Medusa and you say, oh, I wish there was this in it, you probably have one of the other Beauty Moon. Even if you just have one, there's a tone in there that'll go with it. Because as I say, Tori leans towards certain tones, certain color stories. And I'm not saying she repeats them, but because she leans in a direction, they all complement.
Right.
So you end up, like I've got, look at, these are all my, these are all my, I can't believe them. These are all my Beauty Moon cosmetic palettes.
Look at that.
Most of them are out of stock. And I'm very happy to have each and every one of these. And I'll tell you, I can grab any 2 of them and create a look. I used 4 today, but I used some for my eyebrows, some for other things. But yeah, I couldn't be happier to be attached to a company more than with Beauty Moon. And again, I thank everybody who's bought a palette, everyone who's posted looks on it. I try and repost everything. If you tag me in it, I'll post it. And I want to thank you all for joining me on this pre-Toronto Pride weekend, because our Pride weekend is next weekend. Sodom and Gomorrah out there. We're hip waiters is what I tell the children. But as a prep to that, thank you all for joining. I also want to thank Candace for making time to haul her cookies over here and try and help me be technically responsible. Neither of us are. But we.
Before we go out, I just want to say the best compliment that we can get, I think, here is Lady Jenny saying they've already bought 2 pallets because
4. I mean, oh, that's so nice of you.
And thoughts and musings by Amy just went to the Beauty Moon site and purchased the Wilma palette. And Poppy and Fluff Cosmetics saying everyone needs a Wilma Fingerdew palette, and I could not agree more.
Well, I would also like to say I think everybody needs to have a Poppy and Fluff blush palette, which is why I'm not so blushed out as I've been waiting on that palette.
Woo!
Steph, I mean, she's sending it to me in PR, which I can't be more happy about. I would have bought one. I would have I probably still will buy one because I like to buy, if I like something, I like to have a backup.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I go through something too fast. And a lot of palettes, I understand why more companies don't have singles available to replace palettes, colors that are popular. But I think the closest I've ever gotten to a makeup company doing that was Be Perfect created their All Stars palette, which had colors that had previously shown up in 4 of their Carnival palettes. And they were just like, it ended up being like 16 shades of their most popular, the ones that everyone complained went out. That's the, but yeah, I often, especially with blush, if you find a blush you like, invest, because if you like it, that's the universe's hint to get rid of it.
Totally.
But I want to thank Candace for coming in and moderating and helping us all talk. And I want to thank you all for spending your Saturday afternoon with me. And until next time, miss me.
Bye.
Oh, polar vortex first. Woo, what was it?